All right, buddy. So go ahead and tell people your name and where you're from if they haven't seen part one.
What's going on? It's Pino. I'm from Pompano, Florida. If you don't know where that's at, Broward County, Lauderdale, down south.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. So what'd you think, man? What'd you think about the comment section in your first video, man? You read any of them?
I mean, I heard a couple people they done DM me about the comments, but I don't pay attention to no critics, man. I don't
Yeah,
pay attention to that because I'm really out here. You know what I mean? Like I live out here. You feel me? I'm really out here. I'm on the ugly every day. You probably know who I am. So
yeah,
it's like I don't need to pay attention to the critics. I say if somebody got something to say, they DM me or whatever, and then we can take it from there. But I don't pay attention to that.
yeah. I know that's right, man. One of my favorite T-shirts says on the back, "Wolves don't care about the thoughts of sheep." You know what I mean?
Right. Facts. Wolves do not care about the thoughts of sheep.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
need to get
fact.
that tatted on me somewhere. I gotta find a spot. Ain't nothing going on my ass though. That's about all I got left. All right, man. So look, the comments. Yeah, I knew the comments were gonna be like, "Oh man, B-Rab this, Malibu most wanted." You know how that shit goes, man. But look, out there in Florida, that shit is just as common as it is down here in Virginia. You know what I mean?
Hey man, the streets vouch for me. I don't gotta do really no broaching on those subjects. The streets vouch for me. I'm one of the only white boys. I'm posted on the ugly corner. You know what I mean? I'm one of the only white boys out there. You feel me? So the streets gonna vouch for me.
Yeah, man. And
I stand out. So
yeah, bro. And K Frog, man. Before everything went through, he vouched for you too, man. He said you're 100 times 3. So I got a lot of respect for K Frog, man. Just seeing all the type of shit he was doing up there in the system, in the mix and all
right.
that. But
That's kind of like I look at K Fall like a brother now, man. We done been through a lot. I done ran into him twice in the pen. We hang out here. You feel me? He times 3 out here too.
yeah,
So he just everything he do, he really do. There ain't no stunt faking, ain't no punt faking, none of that bullshit, bro.
I know that's right, man. And I don't know if you just seen my live stream, but even though see the comments were they're aimed towards you, right? Uh, it still affects me a little bit, man. You know what I mean? Because it's like, damn, dog. Like, just have the common courtesy to just look past the cornrows and the voice and just listen to his story. You don't know where a man comes from. Every culture is different in
Hey,
different regions, man. That's all there is to it. Uh,
hey
and
man, hey, if they, a lot of them people, bro, they them people that be tucked off way in the woods somewhere in some foreign state, bro, don't do nothing but be on their phone all day. They don't live in the city. Like literally, I'm in the city right now. I mean, if you want me to, I'll turn the camera. I'll show you the city right now. I'm literally in Pompano.
yeah, you
It's
good,
like,
man. You good. You ain't got to do all that. We're about to jump into the damn adult side, man.
let's go, man.
All right, man. So let's get right into it. You leave you leave Jit Camp. You said you EOS from on your first bid from what was it? Something
My
City,
first day, I EOS from Lake City.
Lake City, and
Yeah, I EOS from Lake City, January 3rd, 2011.
okay, and you hit the streets, violated, and that's when you got the 7 piece, went to the adult side.
Right. I hit the streets. I was on the streets for a good 4 months and 4 or 5 months. Got caught up with some bullshit. I had a little trick tell on me. Long story short, I was facing a 15 mandatory. They waived the minimum mandatory because the only testifiable witness was deceased. Um, at that, they waived the minimum mandatory, gave me the bottom of the guidelines, which was 7 more years. The bottom was 12, but they split the sentence 7 and 5 out.
Yeah, and How much do y'all usually have to do on the time out there? I know someone told me, but I got horrible memory, man.
85%.
85%, and y'all got guidelines as well, just like Virginia does. A lot of states have the whole guidelines thing, which I think is bullshit because some dudes is getting hemmed up 7 years for a damn blunt just because the guideline says he needs to get that much
Right.
time. You know what I mean?
The guidelines is different too. Like I was originally when I was facing that time before I caught the 7. When I went back in, I was facing a 15 minimum mandatory on the Prison Release Reoffender Act, meaning if you get out of prison within 3 years of committing a crime, when you get out of prison, if you commit a
Yeah,
violent crime, you fall under the Prison Release Reoffender Act, which means whatever the maximum is on the charge. If the max on the charge they can sentence you to is 15 years, your minimum mandatory automatically becomes 15 years. So it's
yeah.
either you time for 15 or you go to trial.
You get in there, and you're still claiming what you claim. How was it? Was it even harder for you to ride out in there than the JIT
Um,
camps, or what?
Not so much as how you carry yourself when you get to the adult camp. You can't carry yourself like a jitterbug. I mean, you can at the end of the day, but I mean, it doesn't last long before you get stabbed or you end up in confinement. Some bullshit happens, you feel me? Because you can't, the way you carrying yourself. It's all about when you go there. I kind of had one of my brothers. He kind of coached me on to, because he knew I was fresh out of a JIT camp, back on a new bid, coming to an adult camp. Which when I went to Santa Rosa Correctional Institution, I was at the annex. Now, one of my brothers, he was another white Crip. He was a great street Crip. He actually, kind of coached me on things, bro. This is how you carry yourself here, da, 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 da. You can't be moving like a jit. It's all about money on the pound. It's not about fighting. It's about money. There's been pounds where I've been where it's been war. It's been about straight war. But when that war is over with, it's about money. That's what
Yeah,
the camps are about.
I know that's right.
If you somebody like me or like you, Death, you feel me, and you go to the chain gang and you look to capitalize off of anything, bro. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? The hustle
sure.
remains. Just because they take you from the street doesn't mean they take the hustle from you.
For sure, that's facts, dog. That's all there is in there, man. No, most people in there ain't got shit, so they gotta hustle. You know what I mean?
Right.
And ladies and gentlemen, for those of y'all that don't know what a jitterbug is, it's kind of like a young cat just acting wild in the JIT camps, correct?
Right. Jitterbug is just somebody young, basically. Somebody, young.
Yeah. And they come into the adult side and they don't play that shit. Shit's more calmed down, but at the same time, they'll kill you if you're acting crazy. That's what I've been hearing a lot from about Florida.
Definitely. You got to understand, bro. You got people on the compound with you. Every compound I've been in North Florida, they never kept me down south. They always shipped me up north or to the Panhandle or whatever. But you got to understand, you walking around with people that you might, just because they smiling and you're on the way to chow with them and they smiling and joking with their homeboy, don't think shit sweet, bro, because that could be that same dude that got 3 life sentences. Like
Yeah.
he'll end your life right then and there.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just how it is.
And what facility was it that you walked into for the first time out there? You said Santa Rosa? Is that what you said?
Institution. Right.
Okay.
When I walked into Santa Rosa, it was kind of a different environment, bro. Santa Rosa was more of a calm, cool, collective camp that I was at. It was more, people were about getting money there. I mean, if you got a sack of tunchi, you get it off to the next person. Go ahead and get that money on the wire to your family out on
You
the
ever
street.
dabble in any of that in there?
Yeah, absolutely. I have. I smoke.
I know you got some crazy stories about it now.
Hey, listen, I'm a real ass person, so I'm gonna tell you what's up.
Well, I tried it before too.
Yeah, I smoked K2 at South Florida. Never again though.
Let's hear it, man. What the hell happened? What the hell happened?
Hey man, listen. Hey, that is not something to dabble in.
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
I mean, were you tripping out, or did you feel like you're gonna die?
Yeah, you feel like you're gonna die, bro. It ain't a good feeling. It ain't something that I smoke weed,
Yeah.
So like, that's my thing. Mary Jane's my thing. So
for sure.
in the chain gang, they call it, in Florida, they call it 6180.
What?
Meaning, they call it 6180, meaning if you get caught with it, you're finna get 60 days in the box and 180 days game time took.
Wait, what are you talking about? For the tunchi or the weed? Or both?
Weed. That's what they call weed in the chain gang.
Oh, 6180, huh?
6180.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I was pretty much strictly a 6180, baby. I go on my cell, roll me up a little reefer joint and hang out.
Lord forbid I ever get locked back up in the pen, but I swear to God, I'm gonna take some damn Florida swag with me, dog. I'm like, 6180, where is it? Where is it, dog? They're like, what the hell you talk about? Boy, sit down. I'm gonna be tripping. I was talking to, believe it or not, I chatted with 1090 after all this went down, and just made sure, it wasn't really a disrespectful session, it was just speaking your mind, you know what I mean? From your perspective.
It's just simple, bro. I mean, I ain't here to put nobody out. I ain't here to do, no publicity stunt, none of that. I'm really out here in the streets. I'm really, I'm not locked up no more, but I can tell my side of the story.
That's all it is, man.
And the inside can vouch. Some people that are still in there, twin, lace, those, all them people, they can vouch for me. You feel me? Everybody can vouch for me. These people with 37 years, 42 years, 50 years, I only had a little 7-year sentence on top of the 3 years. I mean, it's still 10 years altogether, but
yeah.
Like they can vouch, it's a totally different environment in there, bro. It's It's how you hold yourself, bro. And if you making noise on the compound, automatically people know who you are. You get what I'm saying? It's not like that. You could be in R dorm, and I could be in M dorm. And if you got that sack, death, they gonna know
They
all
gonna
the
know
way
it.
in the L dorm that you got that sack, and you the man to go see. And regardless, when you in there, that's kind of how people build rank, respect between money, fighting for it, because you're gonna have somebody test you. Regardless, if you got a phone, somebody gonna test you for that phone. If you, I mean, if your brothers, a lot of times, your brothers ain't gonna let nothing go down. You feel me? But at the end of the day, you can get caught lacking, bro. You can be that only crip inside a dorm full of Zoes, full of Bloods, full of Kings, and you got a phone. You know what I mean? What you
Yeah.
think's gonna happen, Death? That's how it goes.
I mean, yeah.
That's
You know,
definitely. I mean, and you gonna have to put on. You gonna. That's
it's a
what you gonna
dog eat
have to
dog
do.
world in there, dog. I
It's a
mean, even out
doggy.
here in the
Hey,
streets. You
just
know,
like the streets.
let me ask you this, man. Because I ask most people this that are white dudes and they banging, primarily black gangs and stuff like that. When you seen that some of these dudes weren't accepting of you, you know what I mean, or the set that you were representing or whatever, whatever. Did that ever deter you or say, you know what, why the hell am I rocking with this shit when I'm going through so much bullshit, man? You know what I mean?
Not at all, because I've been cripping since the streets. So I've been cripping since I was 13. All my brothers I grew up with, most of them are black. I got a couple Chico brothers, that are cripping too. A couple white boys. It's basically my hood. What I put on for what I grew up on. And what I represent. I'm really crip. You feel me? I ain't no go to the chain gang and become a gang member and want protection and none of that. I went to the chain. I was out here doing it. I went to the chain gang doing it. I've only had one person test my gangster one time. I briefed up on that subject on the last session when
Yeah.
I was at Holmes Correctional Institution. Other than that, I really haven't had too many people test my gangster. It's just like your name carried. Florida is Florida. Okay, you got I don't know how many prisons. If you stab somebody down at Everglades Correctional Institution and you get shipped to Santa Rosa, you could believe there's gonna be somebody at Santa Rosa that was at Everglades that watched you stab somebody.
Yeah.
You can believe that. After you do them 60 days in the box, or your 120 days in the box, or your little 6 to 9 months on CM, whatever you do, whatever they give you with your disciplinary report, you can believe when you get back out on that pound, somebody gonna know what happened. Word gonna travel. Period. And that goes
Yeah.
to stay with the gangs too. You can't just stab anybody. If you just go stab somebody, and you got to be living like that, because you can stab the wrong person, bro, and you can go to the next compound, and that compound got all that person's brothers there, and they already sent word.
Yeah.
They already
You
sent
know,
word.
that brings me to a story, man. There was this guy in the block who came in the block, and he was there for about 9 months, man. He was chilling, man. I mean, he was like a popular dude in the block. Everybody gambling with him, chilling with him, kind of sucking up to this dude because, some guys were just scared of him or whatever, and he was affiliated. Well, about 9 months, I'm sitting there, not thinking anything of the cat. Someone comes into the block and knew him from somewhere else. Oh, man. His whole everything changed. That dude.
His whole demeanor.
And look, I mean, almost immediately, man, he turned from one of the strongest guys to number one target. And it was unbelievable, man. It's crazy how fast shit can change when
How
someone
fast
walks
it can
in that
change.
block and knows what the hell you've done in your past, man. Shit will catch up to you, ladies and gentlemen. And I say that about people that come onto this channel. Thousands of people, so you'd be surprised who might pop out from your past, but whoa, 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 whoa. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that's just how life is, man. Let me ask you this. You said in ACI, I believe, there's a lot of gay, homosexual stuff going on in there, correct?
Absolutely.
Now,
ACI is bad on that. I've seen a lot of bullshit at ACI.
now let me ask you this, because I've heard this from certain states, and I can't remember if it was from Florida or not. I don't think anyone said it from Florida, but some places, some states, some gangs, I've heard, actually, hey, if you got life or something like 50 years, they don't even give a shit. They'll allow you to indulge in that. What's going on with that? Did they do anything like
That's a
that in
no
Florida?
go. That's a no go, man. Any pound I've been on, I stood for that. They'll vouch for you. For me, I went to Santa Rosa. I went to Holmes Correction Institution. I was at ACI. Any pound I've been on, they'll tell you I vouch for that. If I find out, I actually went through that at ACI. We basically stepped to them. Hey, listen, because this is with gossip. It was gossip, basically. And I don't want to flip my brother for some gossip. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got
I
to
want
make
to know the
sure.
truth.
Yeah.
I gotta make sure, because if I flip you, it's gonna be for a fact that I made sure that you were messing with a boy.
Yeah.
That's a no-go. Any pound I've been on, that's been a no-go. But what happened was so one day he thought he was in the dorm by himself. We slide up in the dorm. We slide up in the R2. We was in the R3. We slide up in the R2. This is that ACI down the hill. When we slide up in the R3, we see the sheet up at the pump room.
Damn.
And we see the sheet up at the pump room. Somebody tell us, hey, listen, such and such up there with the pump. So we had to
someone saw him slide in that money, huh?
You already know. So basically, long story short, he come back out. We tell him, hey, check this out, bro. You got to get from off the pound right now. Or you finna get wet up. Period. You got 24 hours. That was a thing at ACI. What I used to tell people, I used to like to give, because I didn't want to see none of my brothers went in. You know what I mean? If you stab somebody, you're going in. Period. You know what I mean? They're gonna pull the cameras back. There's cameras down the hill at ACI. There's cameras up the hill. You're gonna go in. Period. You get what I'm saying? Before you send your brother out there to crash, or before you go crashing with your brother, you wanna give somebody a chance. Hey, look, you got 24 hours. Get off this pound, bro. Any pound you get on, you better stay on PC. Period. Any pound you get on. I've seen it play out like that, but in that situation, it actually didn't play out like that. We actually told him, he had 24 hours, and then 6 hours later, one of my brothers went and cut him across the face, and then he had to check in. So that was long story short for that situation at ACI. I actually had a situation at ACI where I was just getting out of confinement. This is actually when I was fresh at ACI too. I don't think I was there for about a month, maybe 2 months. I'm fresh out of confinement. I had to do 60 days because when I got shipped from Holmes Correctional Institution, I was on my 43rd day in confinement, and then they shipped me to ACI. So naturally, you have to do the rest of your 60 days in confinement.
Yeah.
I got out of confinement. It was for a dirty urine. So I got out of confinement. I get out of confinement. I come to the pound. There's a dude that he gets out of confinement with me the same day. He has his bag over his shoulder. He's kind of an older dude. So, I ain't thinking nothing of it. He kicking a small conversation. I'm telling him, you got to go to laundry to pick up your sheets and all this, that, and the third. You got to go there, pick up your Crocs, this, that. So you have everything situated because he kind of didn't know. You know what I mean? So long story short, we get back to the dorm, and I kind of felt like he just kept looking at me. I was in the day room. I was sitting there watching TV. I look up. He looking at me. I'm over at the room. He's sitting there playing cards, but he's steady glancing like this. You get what I'm saying? And those are signs that you peep. You get what I'm saying? So I went in there, yeah.
I would have been, as soon as he looked at me again and he would have turned, I've been like this.
Yeah, so those are signs that you peep, right? So I went and asked my brother about him, and they said that he had been down for like 40-something years. He got like 3 life sentences. So I wasn't playing the get-go. From there, I wasn't playing it. So automatically, I went and stepped to him. I'm like, look, bro, if I catch you looking at me, bro, I'm gonna smash you, bro, period. I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna handle that, and you ain't gonna live in this dorm with me. You get what I'm saying? So when we go to the chow hall later on, I'm with my brother, Rob. He out here in the streets, too. He did some time at ACI. He was there about the same other time. He was another white Crip. So when we going to the dorm, we leaving the dorm, we going up to chow hall. I see him. He got these shoes on. Naturally, everybody in the dorm that's wearing shoes. It's just an instinctive thing, bro. Because they give Crocs out in Florida State Prison.
Yeah.
So it's black Crocs. If you got shoes on, you kind of notice who's wearing shoes. It's not too many people in the dorm with you. It might be 30, 40 people. You know who got a pair of shoes and who don't.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? You live in the dorm with these people. This dude had on some size 13 shoes, strapped up so tight, looked like bolts on his feet, right?
Damn, them James curling. Curling.
Right, they curling, and he going up to the juice machine, right? So I see it. So I tell my brother, rest in peace, Ant, he got killed at ACI. I'll tell you that story. Yeah, I can tell you that story as well. He got killed at ACI last year. You can look it up. Inmate dies at Jackson County Correctional Institution. This is my brother. He was actually the head. I was chief enforcer there. Anybody there would vouch for that. You feel me?
Damn, that's chief enforcer, huh?
That's why I said that. That's kind of why I said, bro. If I hear a name, bro, I know the name. I know the head O-lines that was there when I was there. I can even, I can shout these people out. Saravant, Joey, I can shout these people out. There's over 1,000 people on the compound, but I do know the people that were high up in ranks of other gangs. You get what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Because I was high in rank, so you got to know. Period. It's a law. You got
Yeah,
to know.
well, shit hits a fan, you're gonna have to talk to these people.
Exactly. When shit hits fan, you're gonna be the one responsible at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that plays out with gang laws and violations, bro. If you make the wrong move, that can be your neck. Period.
Yeah.
And I was a person with 7 years, around a bunch of people with multiple life sentences. 90% of my brothers had major time, and I've had brothers step to me like, bro, leave the shit alone, bro. Why you up there, bro? Just step down, leave it alone, bro. Because of the amount of time that I had and the amount of time that they had, trying to look out for me on different situations.
Yeah.
There's been situations where I was gonna stab somebody, and hey, listen, bro, leave it alone, bro. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, bro, you gotta weigh out the odds. Is the situation worth it? Okay, because he used the phone before me, or we can grit about that. We can fight about that. You know what I mean? I ain't gotta stab you about that. But
Yeah.
if you go in my cell and steal something, if you you one of my brothers and you in the dorm and you, like I said, you messing with a boy, you gotta go. You gotta you gotta check in or get airlifted. Period.
Yeah.
And I've seen it happen. That
Yeah.
brother that I broached on, like I said, 6 hours later, he got poked up.
Yeah.
One of my brothers didn't want to wait, and he had higher rank than me. So I mean, that's the chain of law. If your brother got higher rank than you and he says, I want to go at him, go at him.
I don't mean to get into like too much of the gang politics, but what happens if there's two damn enforcers up in the joint? How do y'all figure that out?
It doesn't run like that. Everything runs under a law. Everything runs under, it's basically called a movement. You have compounds that you can get to, and it can be messy, which means that it's not an organized compound and not an organized gang on the compound, which means, you can have this dude say, oh, that's not my brother, or this dude doesn't have a rank, and this dude's out here on the yard saying he's this. There's been compounds that I've been to like that. Holmes was like that at one time. When I first got to Holmes, it was kind of messy. There wasn't, hence to why I said when I first got to Holmes, I went through it with one of the other Crips who said about we broached on the white and black subject. That's called a messy pound. Most pounds I've been to have been organized. Basically, when you get to the pound, you got a position to play. If you come from the streets with rank, when you go to prison, you're gonna have rank. Period.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Everybody's gonna respect your mind, and you're gonna automatically move up in the rank on that compound.
All right, let me ask you one more thing, man. We could probably just deter the gang stuff after this one, but
all right.
Now this is something a lot of people say it's been dead a long time. It's cracked or whatever. Have you ever seen? Do y'all ever link up with GDs and Crips? Do they link up? What do they call it? 8-ball or some shit?
Believe it or not, 90% of Florida State prisons you go to, the G's and the Crips are straight. There's no such thing as an 8-ball, none of that. I'm not gonna broach on that. You feel me?
Yeah.
It's more politics. Cripping comes from history. It comes from politics. It comes from people that actually did it for their hood and actually put on for their hood and started a movement. Hence the Stanley Tookie Williams and Raymond Lee Washington. Basically.
But y'all do roll together, GDs and Crips from time to time?
Absolutely. Okay. At ACI, I used to shake up with the G's. At Holmes Correctional Institution, I shook up with some G's. At Santa Rosa, we were shaking up with the G's. So absolutely, yes, we did ride with the G's.
Yeah, it was like that over here in Virginia.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like that in most compounds you go to on Florida State prisons, and 90% of the compounds you go to. It can be that one exception that maybe, the head of the G's got beef with the head of the Crips, and then, y'all can't get along, period, because that's what's going on. But you'll rarely ever see that. I've seen that once in my whole 10 years, and that was because the G's didn't ride behind the Crips, so we wanted to beef with the G's. We went to war with another gang, and they didn't follow behind us because their head gave a command not to follow behind us. So when their head gave that command not to follow behind us after we went to war with them too.
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Well,
basically, it's called time flags. It's basically, you actually, you're looking out for each other. Our gang respects your gang respects our gang. We're allied. You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's an
Yeah.
alliance.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see
But that
here.
is major in Florida prisons. Yeah,
Yeah.
Crips and G's, we do
And
time.
that varies from state to state as well. Some people say,
Right.
"Oh, no, hell no, we don't rock like that, man." That shit. That's them, that's them, that's us, that's us. But in Virginia, it happens like that too. There was something else. Oh yeah, you ain't never been walked into a pound and the damn unforgiving cat rolled up on you. But what's up, man?
I actually had a home. Are you talking about Unforgiven, the skinhead gang?
Yeah, yeah, the
Yeah,
white
yeah. I
jank.
actually had a homeboy. What's his name, man? He had the Thor tattooed lightning bolts all over his head. I'll think of his name on another day and I give it to you. But he was my homeboy. I kind of liked him, man. He was a good dude. He believed what he believed in, and I believed what I believed in, and that's just what it is. But it wouldn't stop, him from coming in the morning. Hey, man, I'm low on a cup of coffee. You think you can shop me a cup of coffee? Oh, when I ain't got no coffee, we live together. You know what I mean? So hey, that's how it is. But at the end of the day, they weren't the strongest gang in Florida
Well,
prison. Actually, I've actually never had a problem with them. They're actually, more of a cool, calm, collective, organization. They're very organized.
yeah. Um,
That's one thing I like about, structure is what it's called. When you get to a compound, it's all about structure.
yeah,
Basically, it's about how you move. It's about how your gang moves. If you can't have one person going off stealing out of everybody's locker and saying that he's a Crip, you get what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because that falls back on us. So now
yeah,
we got to go straighten you.
yeah. Well, let me ask you this, man. This is kind of a left field question, man. It just kind of popped in my head. How do you take being from Florida and being locked up and seeing how dirty the damn police is in there? How do you feel about Rick Ross?
You talking about that Rick Ross?
Yeah, yeah. He used to be a correctional officer, man. How do you feel about that? A lot of people
I
still
really ain't
jam
got
his
no
music.
I really ain't got no beef with him. I like Rick Ross. I listen to his music. For the fact that you was a correction officer, that really doesn't mean anything to me.
Okay.
Coming from a person being on the inside, I've seen correction officers bring in 10 phones and a can of Pringles. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And get a $10,000 wire. Literally 2 days later.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, they about their check. I've seen some messed up, police here and there, and those are the ones you want to steer clear of.
Yeah.
Period. Life in general,
Yeah.
those are the ones you don't want to be around.
Oh,
But
trust me, they've been breaking out mad mountain stories about these dudes affiliated with the Ku Klux Klan and everything, man.
absolutely. When I was at Lancaster Correction Institution, when I was a JIT, 90% of the staff was probably affiliated with the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
People think that shit's dead. It ain't
Santa
dead.
Rosa was pretty country too. So was Holmes. Both of those camps were pretty country. But ACI was more. They actually had city people working there, and there was a lot of stuff going down.
Yeah. Well, what would you think would be? Oh, wait, tell me about Ant, man. We're gonna talk about Ant. You say your
Oh
homeboy
yeah,
Ant
man. Rest
died.
in peace to my homeboy Ant, man.
R.I.P. Man.
He was more than a brother to me, y'all. When I refer to brother, y'all looking at it as like my gang partner or whoever I run with. You get what I'm saying?
Is that
Whoever.
the dude you sent me all the pictures of and stuff?
Right, correct.
Okay, okay.
He died last year. In August, he got killed.
How'd
He
this
got
happen,
stabbed.
man?
He got stabbed in the chest. I don't want to go into details about it because it's still an active investigation. With the Department of Corrections, his family is basically, trying to get justice for this because, the person who did stab him came from a whole nother dorm. So it's a lot
That's
of,
definitely a lawsuit.
yeah, it's a big lawsuit. They came from another dorm. The prison's trying to confine everything. The IG, they still got it under investigation. But long story short, the person came from another dorm and the police opened the door for that person to get into the dorm. When they got into the dorm, long story short, they couldn't handle him with them hands. He was a beast. RIP to my dog, but anybody will vouch for Ant on that compound. He was a beast. N.O. Ant, whatever you want to call him. He actually had 2 nicknames on the compound, but he was, so they couldn't handle him, so they stabbed him. Long story short. And it hurts, right? Knowing from knowing somebody like this. Like I actually looked at more than a brother, more than my gang brother. I actually looked at him kind of like a brother. You get what I'm saying? I actually used to read the word with him in the morning. You know what
That's
I
what's
mean?
up.
And if he get in an argument, I was in an argument. If he was rocking out, I was rocking out. Regardless of the situation, if he was wrong or right. You get what I'm saying? Now you can have brothers that you're gonna rock out behind and you're gonna figure out if they wrong or right though. But you got them certain people that you tight with when you lock down, bro, and
Yeah.
you gonna
No
rock out
questions asked.
regardless.
She's just gonna jump at will, man. You know,
Yeah,
that's how
you
close
gonna
y'all
rock
are. I
out.
understand.
K
Uh,
Frog actually came one of those people to me, man. K Frog became one of them people to me.
that's what's up, man. And you know, when you find people like that, man, never let them go. You know what I mean?
Right. I actually went to his memorial. They had his memorial in Jupiter.
Hey,
Went to it. Yeah, I went to his memorial last year. I got pictures on my IG if anybody wants to look at them. It's an active investigation. His family's trying to get justice. Pray for his family. All prayers go up to his mom, Kenya. Yeah,
that's
basically.
what's up, man. I'll definitely send some prayers their way myself later on. And speaking of religious things, you said read a word and stuff like that. Hey, tell me, how do people take that, man? Can you be doing this whole cripping and stuff like that and still love, express your feelings and love towards your
Absolutely.
religious beliefs?
Absolutely. At the end of the day, though, if you do go to a structured compound, 9 times out of 10, your brothers are gonna tell you, if you go in there and a certain religion, I'm not gonna broach on any religion because the critics will go crazy. But if you're a certain religion and you're all about that religion, like such as Islam, if you go to any Florida State prison, any Muslim is gonna ride behind a Muslim.
Oh, for sure. That's how it is in Virginia.
That's how it is. We like to in the structure. We like to say, you know, you're always gonna ride behind that C, regardless religion or not. You're gonna ride behind the C because this is brotherhood. This is what we do. You get what I'm saying? We cuz. You feel me? That's just what it is.
Yeah. And what if someone's like, look, man, you know, I did what I do with y'all for so much. I got nothing but love for all y'all, man. And y'all got lots of love for him, but he just comes up to you one day and says, bruh, I gave my life to
That's
whatever
fine.
religious beliefs, and I'm done with this, man. You know,
That's
but
fine.
what
That's
they
I'm all for that. I'm all for that, and I always preach that to my brothers as well. I'm all for that. If you want to change, change. But don't let me catch you 2 weeks down the line getting into any gang gossip. Don't let me catch you smoking Tunchi in the cell. Don't let me catch you messing around with a punk. You get what I'm saying? I want to see you living by God. If that's your choice, I want to see it, and I'm all for it. And I'm even gonna encourage you. I'm even
yeah,
gonna see you. I'm gonna pass you in the child hall. I'm gonna pass you wherever I'm at, and I'm gonna encourage you to keep focused. But
I
the
like that,
moment I
man.
see you slipping, I'm gonna let you know what time it is and how dangerous it is for you.
That's what's up, man. You know, I salute to you for that, man, because you know what? I can see the sincerity in your eyes when you said that shit, man, and that means a lot, man. You know, because a lot of people, they just grow up, man, and you're like, you know what, man? It ain't about fear so much. It's not about fear of whatever. They just want to change and be enlightened through
Right,
their own religious beliefs. You know what I mean? And
right.
some people don't respect that shit, man. You know what I mean?
I've seen it. I've been on the compound where 2 years ago, this same dude that's going to church every Sunday, he's a part of every spiritual program in the on the compound with the chapel. That same dude 2 years ago was a stone cold killer. You didn't want to run across him.
Yeah,
So I've seen it, and he's left alone.
yeah,
Because he's focusing.
yeah. I know that's right. Now, look, there's one thing that is unbelievable to be out there in Florida, man. Uh, a lot of white dudes out there be dropping them M bombs like on the streets, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a culture thing, man. I mean, a
Yeah,
lot
it
of people
is.
don't agree with it. It's a culture thing. It's more how you grew up. I mean, not
You ain't never
anybody
had
can
no one
do it.
trip out on it?
Yeah, of course. I've had. I mean, but I'm quick to let you know. I mean, you don't tell me how to talk, bro. I'm me. Don't tell
Yeah.
me. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
that's just it. And
Yeah.
if somebody got something to say about that, then shut my mouth. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all. I'm quick to tell somebody that. I'm really a hothead at times, but I try to stay under the radar and be focused. Because it's a lot of money. And we got one life, bro. One life.
Yeah.
And in that one life, bro, you look around you and you see all these other people with that one life with $2.3 million in the bank, and you only got, 5 figures in the bank.
Yeah.
Something wrong,
Yeah.
So that's what it's about at the end of the day, with politics, with gangs, with prison, with anything. Money.
Yeah. It is, man. Believe it or not, people can say what they want. Money brings more problems too, man. I swear to God. The more money you might, it gets easier physically. You get comfortable, get a little more comfort. But damn, shit, if it ain't the taxes, it's something else, man. You know what I mean? It brings more problems, and that's for sure.
Right, it does. Attention is what it brings.
That too, man. You ever think about starting this YouTube channel up, man? We gotta expound these prison channels, man.
I'm actually I don't know if I'm gonna start a prison channel. I mean, we can broach on prison subjects.
Oh yeah, you know what I mean, any kind of channel. Yeah.
Yeah, me and my homeboy, actually the one you see me on live with earlier, me and my homeboy, we're gonna set up shop tonight. We're gonna go to his crib. We're gonna set up shop tonight with the iPad Plus and a couple cameras and other things, and we're gonna try to, just test it out on YouTube. It's gonna be called, because my name Brandon, his name is Brandon. That's our real names. But his nickname Skip, my nickname Pino. It's gonna be called Brandon versus Brandon though, or B versus B.
Okay.
And it's just, we're gonna touch up on subjects, and we came up with the idea for the YouTube channel because, like, literally, bro, we can be in the car, bro, and we could be smoking the L, and we could be talking about anything, and he always got the opposite views on everything I say. He's one of them homeboys that just want to tell you everything you say. He got a different view on it.
Yeah. Well,
so
you know what?
we got to capitalize off that.
Yeah, and believe it or not, you can learn a lot from another person that has different views. Right. That's crazy, man.
I don't know. I know I got my fine here. I don't got to tell you.
I'll edit that out. Hey, look. Hey, you tripping, man.
Hey, man, I live in the city, bro. I told you, like I said, I'm one of the only white boys out here on the ugly corner. You know what I mean? Like,
you got to be careful, though, bro. Social
absolutely,
media, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I try to stay under the radar.
I know that's right, man. That's right, bro. Hey, look, so check it out. This is the video, right?
Yeah.
You just scroll all the way up, all the way down, and it'll load up. There's the comments.
Oh, okay. So when I have the video up, it'll have different videos, and then just keep going past those different videos all the way down?
Exactly.
Awesome. All right.
But yeah, man, just keep doing you, man. Be easy out there and stay free, man. Keep supporting your family and all that good stuff. You know what I mean?
All right. Definitely, man. Bless up to you and your family, too, as well, bro.
Hey, appreciate you, man. Salute to you.